All right, guys, so as you can tell from the title of this video, we are making Mexican authentic tamales. Now, typically, yes, they're super delicious. I have them every single year during the holidays. What we're making today is the same thing. So it's gonna have all the flavor, but we're making them low carb. So we have our melted cheese. I did like 20-second increments twice just to make sure that it was nicely melted. So this is what it should look like. I also softened the cream cheese, so we're just gonna add that right in. So we also have our lard, and we're gonna add that right into the cheese. So let's go ahead and just kind of mix this all together. Okay, so I just gave it a really light mix. Now it's not gonna get well incorporated. We're gonna do that with the almond flour. I'm just gonna add in our 2 tablespoons of baking powder. Now remember, this is one of those things where it's completely different ingredients from the masa. So we're just gonna trust the process here. We're gonna add that all in to our bowl. Now we're gonna have to give this a really good mix. So I recommend just from the start going in with your hands. It's what's gonna help it all come together. And it's just gonna be a lot easier than the spatula. Okay, what I'm gonna do right here in the middle of kneading, I'm gonna do a little bit of chicken bouillon. It's something that I grew up with. I feel like it adds just so much flavor to the food. I'm gonna add in a little cumin. Again, it's completely optional. I just think it's gonna add to the flavor. But if not, then just a little salt is gonna do the trick. We're gonna do some cumin. And then just a little salt. Ooh, just do a little. And then just mix. But I feel like cumin really, really adds to the flavor. I think chicken bouillon obviously adds flavor to everything. So we're gonna let our masa rest. Meanwhile, we prep our corn husks. Now, corn husks are absolutely essential. You need them 100% to make tamales. I know that there are, what are they, like the banana leaves that they make out in, what is it, South America? Yeah, in South America, you do use, like, to make tamales, you use like a banana leaf, but Mexican tamales are made with corn husks. So as you can tell, you have to let them soak so that they're manageable. Because if not, they can crack, and once they're softened, they're a lot easier because we have to actually fold them. And I'm gonna kind of walk you through the process, but this is what you do. You just kind of let them soak for, you can let them soak for even the night before, but if you let them soak for a solid, I don't know, I would say an hour, you're good to go. So if you get some that are really small, then all you do is put them, you overlap them. Because sometimes you do. There's some bags that come where they're a lot smaller. So see, you just put them like kind of overlapping, not all the way, just like halfway like this. And now you have a full big leaf for tamal. And then some do come nice and big already, just like this. So you would just use one. I already made our birria. It's sitting in the back. I have a full YouTube recipe on that, a full YouTube video on our homemade birria. I will leave that linked in the description below. Now, there's nothing in this world that compares to homemade birria, just because you're adding in all that love, and it's absolutely delicious. But if you don't want to go through that trouble and you're like, dude, I just want the easiest, like I just want the easiest way to make these tamales, you can find birria that's pretty good. It's actually really, really good from Costco or Trader Joe's. I've tried them both. They're both really good. And they're gonna give you a tamal that tastes delicious as well, like the filling. So this is a great example of how to tell that the corn husk is ready when it's super manageable, just like this, because we do actually have to fold it up. So ideally you want this to be able to fold nice and easy. So right now I'm just kind of laying them out. I'm trying just to make the process a little easier, because once you have your masa and you have your meat and everything, you kind of want everything to flow. Usually everyone kind of sits down around the table. You have the aunts and cousins and everyone helping, because it is pretty tedious to kind of get all this done. But we're gonna do this together. And so I just wanna choose like the biggest leaves. It just makes it look prettier. It's less messy. And remember, if you have like 2 little guys, then you kind of just overlap them a little and it makes one big one, and then it will be easy for you to be able to spread the masa and the meat and all of that. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is obviously lay out our corn husk. We're gonna get a little bit of lard and spread it where the masa is gonna go. And this is really just to ensure that once it is cooked and steamed, when you peel it, that nothing sticks onto the husk. Put it right in the center, and you're just gonna spread it out. So you would spread it by pressing it down like I'm doing so right here. So let's back up a little. When you use traditional masa, you can literally just grab it, toss it, smear it, kind of however it falls type vibes, because when it cooks, it all kind of comes together. This is not traditional masa, so I feel like I form it the way I want it to look, how I would like the final product to look. And I want it to look like a traditional tamal, which is usually this is the shape that it takes on. So that's how we're doing it. Okay, now for the meat, we have our birria here. So with the birria, you just want to make sure that your meat is already shredded. And then you usually want to keep everything right here, right in the center. And you can put as little or as much as you want, but ideally, you don't want it to be too full because we do need to close it. So you just kind of fold that over, and you fold it over like you would like a little burrito where it's here. And then you do one more. And then the little tail, the little bottom of the tamal, you fold it upwards. So I've rolled up all of our tamales. This is basically what they're gonna look like. Okay, you've seen folded over, all of them, you have to tuck them in. Then you just kind of stack them up. Once they're all done and you're ready to steam them, because tamales are, that is how they're cooked. They're not baked, they're not fried, they are steamed. Now, this right here behind us is a huge olla para tamales, which is a big pot made specifically for tamales. Okay, so as you can see, this is the metal plate I'm talking about. It has all the little holes. You want that because that's how they're gonna steam. And then what you're gonna do is just start placing your tamales that are already wrapped, just lining them up. So typically you are gonna fill this up. So this towel here is nice and damp. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna place it right over the tamales, because you want to keep that steam in there, okay? So as you can see, they're cornered in there. The steam is gonna cook them. And now we're just gonna place our lid. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and close the lid, let it steam for about 1 hour, and I cannot wait to show you the final product. Okay, so our tamales are all done. I wanna show you guys how they look. I mean, there's a little bit on the corn husk, which is fine, no big deal. So here we have our consomme from the birria, and we are going to dip our tamal right in. So as you know, this is typically done with tacos and queso tacos and all that. Oh my God. Guys, I don't know if you've ever seen this. I never have, but what? This is so fire. Everything in life, okay? So I'm telling you right now, if you've never, because I've never seen this. Like, I've actually never seen a tamal with the consomme, but if you've seen it, let me know. If you haven't, then go share this because it is literally phenomenal. So I'm gonna leave the recipe in the description below. Guys, if you like this idea and this video, make sure you show me some love. Go hit that like button. And don't forget, share not only this recipe, but the channel with friends and family, especially if you have any family members that are diabetic. These are actually diabetic friendly. So share it with them, because I know if family members love tamales and they miss them, they are going to thank you so much. This tastes like the real deal and you guys are gonna love them. Guys, thanks so much for being here. I love you, and I will see you on my next video. Mwah.